Hi guys, today I'm going to be trialling these two. Not trialling, maybe head to head, kind of competing against each other. Comparing is the word I'm looking for. The YSL Glossy Stain and the, what is this called? L'Oreal Caress something shine, I don't know. The L'Oreal version of the YSL Glossy Stain. And as you may or may not know, YSL is owned by L'Oreal, and so many people were really expecting them to basically be the same thing, repackaged for a lower budget market. But they're not quite the same, so I'm going to show you the differences today. I'm going to take pictures throughout the day and kind of show you what I think of them, or tell you what I think of them, and the differences between them, and which one I prefer at the end of the video. Here is the L'Oreal. I have already compared this one to Maybelline Glossy Stain or Tint Stain or whatever it was called, and I really didn't like the Maybelline version. The L'Oreal one I'm very, very impressed with. First impressions were very, very good. I will definitely buy more if they bring out more shades. The main reason that I bought the Glossy Stain, other than the fact that I did want to compare it for you guys, was because I wanted a hot pink colour. And I must admit, the one that I got was a little on the red side. I wish I'd gone for more of a pink rather than a red pink. Or maybe like a blue pink or something. But yeah, other than that, I very much like the L'Oreal ones, and I would purchase more if they did different shades, but a lot of them are a bit blah, and this was basically the best one of the bunch in my opinion. And the one that I have is called Juliet. I also have one called Romy, which is a pale pink, but again it's a little bit what's the point really, in my opinion. But that's what the applicator is like. And the applicator on the YSL is very, very similar. Similar kind of doe foot, it just doesn't have the kind of the hole in the middle that holds the product. So yeah, really similar in kind of packaging and application. But let's apply them and see how they go. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put half and half. I was going to do kind of my top lip and my bottom lip, but they could be different. So I decided to just do kind of the left with the YSL and the right with L'Oreal. So that's what I'm going to do now. One application of each. Now, from trial and error and from kind of looking online at what other people thought and their reviews, I discovered that you're actually supposed to layer them. So I leave them a few seconds and then put on another coat, and it kind of deepens the colour as well as kind of making it a little bit more opaque. I consider it kind of like a nail polish. It's not a normal lip product. It kind of sets on your lips and yet it stays tacky or kind of wet looking. It's really odd. In consistency, like nothing else that I've got, or at least, you know, they're very similar to each other, but otherwise they're pretty unique within my collection. So it's not like I would apply another product like this, but I do kind of go over with another layer afterwards. So I'll do that now and come back. So there we go, I'm all applied. As I said before, on this side I have the YSL, and on this side I have the L'Oreal. And the L'Oreal is a red and this one is pink, so you can kind of tell the difference, but obviously I will not be leaving the house because I look a bit crazy. I will just be kind of staying in the house and taking pictures throughout the day, and I will share those with you in just a moment. But just a quick kind of note on application, I do prefer the applicator on the L'Oreal. I think that it's a little bit more precise, it's easier to use. The YSL is a little bit, I don't know what I mean, like fuzzy. It's just, it doesn't give a precise application, and when you're working with a liquid lipstick, I feel like I'm constantly trying to correct myself when I'm applying it. And I just prefer the L'Oreal. Again, I'll show you them side by side this time. It just feels a bit firmer. There you go, and the L'Oreal is on the left, just to confuse you, and the YSL on the right. You can kind of see it's just not got that much definition to it. Obviously it's picking up product, but I feel like I want that. This is a little nicer shape, and I don't know why they didn't do that on the YSL. But yeah, that's the only thing that really bugs me about it. Otherwise, the formula when you first apply it feels identical. As it kind of goes on throughout the day, it does feel slightly different, and I think that perhaps the YSL has the edge on the feel of it on your lips, but I will update you later on and let you know kind of how this is worn, like I say, with kind of throughout the day pictures as well, and my final thoughts, because I've not really compared them head to head. I've worn them individually, but this will be a really good test to see how good it really is alongside the YSL one. So yeah, I will come back to you in just a moment, but also in a few hours, and let you know how I get on. it's 6 hours and a hell of a lot of heat later. So, you know, ignore the shine. I just didn't want to touch up my makeup at all before I refilmed, so yeah. It's been warm today, but I've drawn quite an unexpected conclusion. I did mention previously that I had worn both of these individually, and obviously, you know, you think that you prefer one more than the other, and I fully expected to tell you that the YSL was better, that the L'Oreal was great, and for the difference in money, I would definitely buy the L'Oreal again if they had different shades, but that the YSL was actually better, and I've completely changed my mind now I've seen them up against each other. I'll put in some pictures now of them freshly applied, and pretty much just before I started filming this. So kind of like hour 0 and hour 6, if you will. And yeah, I think that the L'Oreal held up better. I know that within an hour, the YSL started to bleed. I really should have taken a picture of that. But the YSL bled a lot quicker than the L'Oreal. And I wouldn't wear a lip liner with something like this. It kind of feels like it should do what it does on its own. But if you are worried about that, or if you do kind of find that your lips are prone to bleeding with red lipstick or bright lipsticks, then you may want to think about using a lip liner. Though I'm not sure how well it'll contain this kind of formula. It is a different kind of thing. But yeah, it did bleed quite a lot. And I found that the YSL did generally smudge. If you kind of see, I'll zoom in. Maybe. I'll zoom in my sweaty face. You can see I'm kind of losing more of it around the insides kind of my lips, around here, and just generally it looks a little bit messier than this side. This side seems to have stayed a little bit better. And I feel like even the shine on the L'Oreal is a little bit better. Given that I was wearing 2 different colours, I really tried not to kind of rub my lips together. But if you press them together like this, you feel kind of the difference in the textures. And I would say that the L'Oreal is slightly less comfortable on the lips, but otherwise it makes no difference whatsoever. I think that the shine has stayed on better on the L'Oreal, and the YSL is definitely not £20 better than this one. So I would recommend that you check out the L'Oreal. I'm hoping they develop more shades. The only reason that I would buy the YSL was for a specific colour. And it is great, you know, don't get me wrong, it's just that it's no better than the L'Oreal. If anything, there are certain aspects that are worse. So I hope this was useful for you guys, and I will link anything that's relevant in the down bar below, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!